So here's our card. It's not very exciting. It'd be kind of nice if we could actually do something interesting with this. Well, let's do it. Let's create a layout. We'll base it off of this screen here. So we'll have a diagram of the ship up here, but it probably won't do anything. We'll just have it there for looks. We'll have a list of the stations over here. We'll have a button to select all stations, and we'll have an activate and deactivate button. We won't worry about the password right now or the power. To do this, let's do it with a grid. CSS Grid is a way of laying out your web page using a series of boxes and automatically placing items into those boxes. So we can take this box here and we'll have a box for the ship itself. We'll have another box over here for this systems list. We have another box over here for the activate button. And then another box for this select all stations. So pretty simple. Since we're ignoring the other stuff, it'll be pretty straightforward. We could even add boxes for those things, but not do anything with them quite yet. So let's do that. Now, since it's a grid, it's based on rows and columns. So what I can do is actually extend these, and we can see exactly what kinds of rows and columns we need to include in order for this to work properly. So it looks like there are 3 rows, 4 rows if we count the power adjustment bit down here. I might actually make this so that it's 3 columns, just so that I have a little bit more breathing room between the different elements. So we've got 4 rows and 3 columns. To create this, we're going to do 2 things. First, we need to add a class to this div. And while we're at it, let's add the different sections. Let's put some of the elements in here, like these buttons and this list. We won't worry necessarily about putting in the stations for this list yet, but we'll get to that eventually. In order to do that, we're going to use the component library that Thorium uses. It's Bootstrap. If you've ever used Bootstrap, it should be familiar. We use a library called ReactStrap to access all of these components. For this, we're going to grab a button and a list group and a list group item. And then we'll put our button here for the reset password. The color is going to be a word. There are several words that Bootstrap uses to represent different colors. Info is kind of a teal color, and then block makes it so that the button stretches all the way across its container. We'll make our activate button just a little bit bigger. And then we'll put our list group here. And I'll just put in a single list group item. We'll worry about adding in the actual stations in a later video. Okay, with that saved, we can take a look and see that our card now has all of these buttons, but they're just all over the place. We need to actually lay them out properly. Before we do that, let me add the ship image in as well. If I console.log the props, we can see that there's some stuff that's passed to every component, like the client and the client object and the simulator. On the simulator, we can see the stations, which we'll use to populate our station list later, and this assets is what I'm looking for. It gives us the pictures of the ship, so we can get a top view and make sure that that is in the right place. Now, in order to show this, we have to put one more thing into this this path. If we go localhost 3000/assets, and then I paste in that path, that'll show us this asset here. And so all I have to do in order to properly display that is put in an image. I like to set draggable to false so that you can't drag it at all. We'll set the source equal to a string that starts with assets and then has the props.simulator.assets.top. I think that was right? Yep. Simulator assets top. And then we also want to put an alt attribute on there, simulator. So now our ship image should appear here as well. Nice and big.